Hey guys, we're at Burton Campers in Calera, Alabama. Today we're coming to you to talk about maintenance. My name's Jody Garner.
And I'm Tony Nance.
As we go through this video, the importance of maintenance is really going to show. We want people to understand why it's important to maintain your slide outs, your black tank, the roof, all of your plumbing system together, whether it's fresh water, black water, gray water. Keeping those lines where they're flowing free is very important. Tony, as we talked about it earlier, that's the first thing you told me when we talked about doing the videos was you wanted to express the importance of keeping the black tank clean. So I'm assuming you've had experiences with the used units and stuff people bring in hadn't been maintained.
You know, when I fill in and I do walkthroughs, that's one of my key points. When we go talking about plumbing and things of that nature, I make a point to get right into it, full detail, because it's super important for me, because I hate working on them.
Absolutely.
And it's just a mess. You know, when we get trade-ins, things like that, they're usually a mess if they've had them over 2 to 3 years.
So what can they do to prevent it from being a mess and keep the system clean?
Yeah. I mean, first thing, the key thing, when you're at a campsite or something like that, you want to have water inside that black tank while you're in use. And simply put, you're gonna put water in it, and you're gonna have your black tank valve closed. Put some water in it, and you gotta fill it up.
So when you say put some water in it, you're like flushing it through the commode. Close your black tank valve. Have water in the commode, exactly. And then, as we always stress, the chemical packs to help deteriorate anything that's inside.
And it's that simple. Thin toilet paper.
Okay. Biodegradable,
RV certified stuff. You know, people like to say you can go to Dollar General, and I just wouldn't advise it. If it ain't got RV on it, I wouldn't put it in there.
Okay, so definitely keeping the tank from being dry. We never want a black tank to be dry. During the winter time, clean it out very good, then open the system.
Yes. A lot of them, even the smaller ones now, they have the black tank flush on them.
So explain to us with the black tank flush, what is it used for? We see it on all the units these days, like you said, and if not, you can actually have it aftermarket installed. What is the usage? How do you utilize that?
To my understanding, it's after the fact. After you've already dumped, you've dumped your black tank, and you're ready to clean it out. It's going more in depth, just going that extra mile. Basically, hooking up your hose. It's usually going to be on the off-door side. You're going to hook up your hose, turn the hose spigot on, and let her rip. Just make sure, the only thing I would say about that, there's usually a warning sticker or a caution sticker on that side. It's going to let you know, keep that valve open while you've got water coming into it. Just because it can cause unsanitary conditions and cause problems.
Well, definitely, it is a pressure flush. So while you're operating the black tank flush, you definitely want the valve open. Make sure that the water's flowing free. So as you're at the campground, hook up your RV to the dump station, whether it's at the sites or at the dump station. Your sewage hose is connected, like Tony already referred to. Pull the black tank handle, let it flush out, let it drain, do the gravity flush, then hook up a clean water hose, something that you're not going to drink out of. You don't want to use your drinking water hose because you're one check valve away from having a nasty water hose, which, like you said, is unsanitary. Once you turn the spigot on, it's going to be actually creating a tornado inside of the black tank and cleaning out any debris that might have got stuck on the walls, on the bottom of the tank, or even on the sensors. We have a lot of sensor reading problems because of the lack of maintenance on the black tanks.
Majority of the time, that's what the issue is. When
clean it out 2 or 3 times.
You know you've got it empty, and it's still reading 2/3, still reading full. 9 times out of 10, there's something on the sensor. You gotta have that. That's what the black tank flush is for. So I think that's a tool.
Number one, if you do have issues, feel free to call us, and we'll help you with them all the time. We won't put Tony doing it because he thinks it's nasty, but we'll definitely clean out your black tank. The importance of the gray tank. We get a lot of people that, now my shower isn't draining, and a lot of people don't understand the vacuum system that's inside of the lines. It has to be airflow, and if you vacuum lock those lines by pouring grease down the sink or such as that, there's treatments you can do to those. Any tips on that you might have as far as flushing it out? I mean, we like to use the water hose here as always. We come in and just put a good flow through your P-traps and stuff. And there are some fresh tank packets you could put in to help clean those lines. But
people ask all the time, can I do that? Is that okay? you know, chemicals and things like that, like the black tank, but for the gray tank, and I think that's perfectly fine.
Just no acid-based stuff like what you would use in your house. It's definitely not something that we recommend.
Yeah, 'cause I believe they're different grade pipes.
Yeah, it is. And the main thing is you can buy stuff for RVs. Like you mentioned, the Dollar General product, yes, it's cheaper, but you don't have this luxury fifth wheel or your $20,000 J-Flat because you was cheap.
Like, I wouldn't take chances.
Don't use that kind of stuff. Use the stuff that's meant for the RVs, mainly because it's going to stop you from spending more money in the future, having to take out all the P-traps and clean them and stuff. That can be a dirty job.
And that type stuff voids warranties.
Once you get grease and stuff inside the P-traps,
they're not going to cover that. So, you know, I'd say don't put grease down the drains. Use strainers. Because you don't want to get hair and things like that caught up inside those drains. Because it's everything in there. It's not a lot of access like at the house, so it's hard to get to.
You're gonna have to take it into a shop to get a wall took down. So that covers the gray tank and the black tank. Now sanitizing your fresh water. This is kind of one of my areas that I'm in. So you can look in your manual and it's going to show you a Clorox mixture that they want you to utilize in the fresh tank. Mix up a 5-gallon bucket, mostly water. We're not looking for a lot of chlorine, but we are looking to put some chlorine inside the fresh tank, and you just want to kill any bacteria is what you want to do. And so then turn your pump on, open up all your faucets, run all of your faucets till you get the chlorine smell at the faucets. Then leave it. Leave the pump pressurized up, everything, leave it for a little bit of time. You ain't got to leave it for a long time, but leave it for enough time that the bleach can really do a good cleaning job. And then shut off the pump, open your low point drains, let it drain out of the tank, out of your freshwater tank. Then fill it up with clean water, and you want to run all those same fixtures that you ran until you don't get a Clorox smell anymore. And then you've actually sanitized your lines there. Some of your units are different. If you've got a North Point, Pinnacle, or Eagle, they've got the, you have to pump it into the tank. So if you have any questions about that, give us a call. The number will be at the end of the video. You can always go to our website as well to get that information. So we've talked about pretty much, we've touched the base. There's so much more you can do on any of that. What about the roof? A lot of people come in and go to trade in and then find there's a soft spot. Right. How do we stop people from, and you know, a lot of these people have good intent. They want to keep their camper clean. They want to take care of it. Maybe they can't, or maybe they just forget about it. What do we need to be doing to our campers, and how many times a year do we need to take care of it?
There's 2 things it'll save your life. It'll extend the life of your rubber roof dramatically. Going to be cleaning treats. You're going to have to do roof treatments twice a year.
Okay, break down to us what a cleaning treat is.
A cleaning treat, basically, I'd advise you to take it to a service station. It's your best bet. You can do it yourself, but I advise again.
Mainly because of slip. You don't want to slip and fall off the roof. It is slick when you're up there.
Like anything else, you want to have a professional do it. But basically, you're going to want to have it cleaned. You want to get that surface up there clean.
I've heard don't dish soap, something like that, or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, yeah. And then the clean and treat, something with UV protector.
Yep.
Something that's going to really soak into the rubber and keep it soft and pliable.
And I think that's something we can probably do another video on too. You
know, the
products and things like that, and what not to use, things of that nature. But you're going to want to get that twice a year. It just improves the life. It lubricates it, gets your seals. It's crazy, but believe it or not, I don't know what's in the stuff, but it brings the seals back to life, like brand new.
It gets them soft and pliable again.
Like brand new, like you just applied them.
Yeah.
But I think there's that, and then definitely just inspection. I think you have to get up there after you go camping, because most campsites, I know from experience, trees are your enemy. Yeah. So you want to get up there and you want to check. I'm talking on the roof of the slides. You should have slide toppers. If you don't, You should. It's
going to save you a lot of heartache.
Yeah.
And
I'm
you
not
don't have
even
to
going to go
carry a
there if you
ladder.
don't. You need them.
Yeah, you need slide toppers. But there's the importance of that, and we'll talk about that in a second. But once the rubber and the seals on the roof, like you said, inspecting them is number one.
Yep.
But then number two is going to be cleaning and treating them and keeping them where they're going to last longer. And like you said, it's amazing what we use the best. We use the stuff that's called the best. That's the manufacturer.
Mm-hmm.
It really does bring
It
everything
truly
back to
is,
life.
and
I
I've used
use
a
it on the
couple different-
decals.
Really?
I use it on. I put it in a spray bottle, spray the decals because of how well it works on the rubber,
Right.
and that the decals just fine.
Yeah.
So I utilize it
I
on that
don't
as
know
well.
what's in this stuff, but it's amazing with other stuff. I just, black streaks, all kinds of
It brings white stuff back to life. Like I'm gonna try it on my teeth.
it's the next
No,
best
but-
thing next to bleach.
Yeah, it really is. It really is nice.
It really is.
It takes care
It
of it.
doesn't have that the kind of. It doesn't do the damage that bleach can do.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah. So now that covers the roof.
Right.
Obviously, we're just spot checking. When you get up on that roof, you're spot checking, making sure nothing's turning loose, making sure you're not getting rips or tears.
Check
The tree
your
limbs are
check
not
your
up there.
seals. Check for any pinholes and.
Breaks in the plastic over your max air vents and air conditioner shrouds, stuff like that.
Yep.
So slide outs. We stress the importance about the slide toppers. We try to install every slide out a topper on it here. And obviously it's a one-time cost to the customer for that unit. And if you trade in, they don't move on like an extended warranty would. The slide topper, in my opinion, prevents you from having sun damage to the top on that rubber, on those seals.
Right.
And then another thing a lot of people don't think about when it comes down to time to close up, say like on a day like today, it is raining outside.
Yep.
And if we go to run this slide in and there's no topper, you're bringing a portion of that water in with you.
All the
You
water on
don't
the sides.
you don't even realize it until you get to where you was going and you think that you've had a leak, but really it was water on a low spot in the top of the slide. You ran the slide in, drive down the road, hit the brakes, and then it all runs to the front and falls off. Then you hit the gas and it all runs to the back. So you think that you've got a leak at every slide, but really and truly it was just having the slide out in the rain without a topper. The topper's not going to prevent it all, but it's going to prevent
it's
the
definitely
majority.
It's definitely going to help because all that stuff essentially is just going to roll off when you roll that slide in. So.
And another thing, people talk about the slide toppers. So for the people that do have slide toppers, water's going to puddle on top of them.
Yeah.
And the best way to get that water off, run that slide in on a day like today. I know it's going to be aggravating, but twice a day, just walk by and bump your slides in 6 inches, let it get the tension of the rubber, and then the water's going to run off.
Yep.
And at that point, there's not a whole lot else you have to do to them. Keeping the just clean when you clean and treat your roof, clean and treat your slide topper as well.
Yeah.
So, obviously tires. We'll cover tires on their own deal. There's some maintenance in areas that we'll cover on a different time. But in closing, is there anything else that you recommend that we didn't touch today on any of those things?
I think we've hit the key points. If you do those things right there, it's gonna save you a whole lot of time. And as I always say, less trips to the service department means more trips with your family. It's just more time out on the road. So if you do those things right there, and that's just the base of it, there's plenty more, but those are the key points.
So, as always, read your manual before you operate or utilize anything on your camper, cleaning material-wise. Use what your manual recommends. If you do it often enough, then you won't need the deep cleans like the bleach and stuff. Anytime that you do get water and stuff on your slide toppers, things like that, make sure you get a good day. You can run your awnings out, slides out, and let the sun dry that water off, and then close it back up so you do prevent mildew. At the end of the year, don't leave water in your fresh tank. Open it up. Sanitize those tanks at the beginning of every camping season. Do it once a year. Make sure that you're keeping your black tank clean on a regular basis. And like he said, it's not, we don't even worry as much about saying it's going to run your warranty. That makes us sound like we're being mean. We're not going to take care of you. We're going to try to take care of you here at Burton's the best we can. But all this preventive maintenance stuff keeps you on the road with your family,
Yep.
and keeps you happy in the
Yep.
camping
Yep.
industry. So with everything we've discussed in this video and much, much more to come, if you have any questions about this stuff or anything else that we didn't cover, give us a call at 1-205-668-0075. And at Burton's, we're always here to help.